Commissioner Bites? Commissioner Doherty? Commissioner Fidrich not present. Commissioner Shibashi? Commissioner Lee? Commissioner Mitchell not present either, and Commissioner Teeter?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, first item is a.
I could then be over the minutes. I'll second this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstains?
Yes.
Any noes? Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. It says presentations on here, but I don't know if that's. Right. Unfinished business, new business, the election of a chair and vice chair. Anyone want to nominate anyone to be?
I would like to nominate
Chair.
Sherry
Oh.
Doherty as
Is that thing
chair.
on? Oh, red's on? Sorry, I thought red was off. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, new business, election of chair and vice chair. Would anyone like to nominate anyone?
I'd
to
like
be-
to nominate. I'd like to nominate Sherry Doherty as chair, please. And I've already talked with her and she.
Anyone else want to nominate anyone else? Okay, any seconds? Someone's got to second it.
I'll second it.
Vote, right? Vote for
Right, okay.
your chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Abstains? Okay, thank you.
Do you take over now?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Now?
Now we gotta, yeah, do the vice chair.
Well, we now are electing a vice chair, so.
I would like to nominate Frank. And I've already talked to him.
I see where this is going.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstains? Any noes? Thank you.
Yes, I'm the vice chair.
Yes, you are. Okay, so now we'll go with committee assignments. Can I defer to you?
Sure.
Tasha?
So there's committees, parks and great trail trees, which is generally like a request for tree. A letter of right, if it's being disputed, and then special events, we're looking for a chair for each committee and a minimum of 2 other. And most recently, and we do have. Chef Goodrich and Dr. Harrison. Sorry, visual.
Excellent.
She's doing all the work tonight.
So you do need to assign them to specific, as well as services.
So we can assign them.
Oh, good.
If that's the pleasure of the commission.
I think it's a pleasure.
Okay, well, do we have any nominations for Parks and Creek Trail?
Done them all so far.
I'll take it.
Do you have this as the current is?
I am.
You're the current chair.
Yes, well, I'd be happy to
Continue.
continue it.
Let's figure it. That's probably, yeah, we should probably do a confirming motion, for those that in.
All right. So your chair is willing to continue to be the chair of the Parks and Rec Trail. So we have other members who would participate.
I would like to participate in Parks and Creek Trail.
I'll be on,
Wanna
I
try
could be on
new one or
Parks and
not?
Creek Trail too.
I think Bob was the other person, but is there another person that would like to be on Parks? and
Yeah,
Rec?
I could be on. Parks and
Okay,
Rec.
great.
So Karen Perry is the chair, be the chair, chair 48 and.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Do we
Do that.
Can we do that all at the same time? All,
Yeah, let's just do the best by committees.
okay,
I can't make.
okay. Somebody,
I move that we impanel those three people.
I was like that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any noes? Thank you.
Okay, now the other two committees.
trees. Next, we'll do trees. Now, the trees only meet when they're needed. So,
I've been a tree member. And I have, in the time that I've been a tree member, we've not had one meeting that I know of.
That's
Yes.
probably good, right? Because that means you're debating whether to take a tree down.
Usually happens if I guess the typical situation would be when a private homeowner wants the tree removed in front of their house. And if it's a healthy tree, but they want it for a different reason, like to widen the driveway or the driveway. We typically would not allow removal of a healthy tree except under extenuating
That makes
circumstances, in
sense.
which case we have a subcommittee would typically meet on the site to evaluate the tree, talk to the owner or the applicant, and then bring the findings back to the PRC, which has depended on how many years. Or it was, but yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, you can get, people can get very passionate about it.
Who was our previous chair? Was it
What's the question?
Were you the chair?
Bob?
No,
the
I
previous
was
chair?
not the chair.
Who was the chair?
I don't know who's the chair.
Was it? No, Tracy was on special events,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I will volunteer to be the chair for trees.
Okay.
If anyone else wants it.
That's so generous of
I
you.
know, I know. And now we're gonna get one. Anyone else
What
want to
would
be on
you
trees?
ask for?
Commissioner Pedro was the chair.
That's
Oh. Okay.
Oh, so is it? Okay.
There you go.
Does anyone else want to be on trees? If we could put Fidrich and Mitchell.
Oh, there you go.
I'll do trees also.
I'm sorry, was Commissioner Mitchell on it last year? All right, I will make a motion that Commissioner Mitchell, Bites, and myself are on the tree committee.
Watch, this year there'll be 80 different referrals.
You'll miss out on that, huh? Well,
I'll
maybe you
second
want
that
to.
motion.
I'm already.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any noes? Thank you.
And next we'll move to special events.
Commissioner Mitchell was the chair.
I would, but I don't know how available I'll be this year for special events.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so yeah, I could be on the committee.
Okay.
I could be on the committee.
Well. You could assign Mitchell.
She was chair last
She
year.
was chair last year.
She's on trees, right? Oh, she is not.
So Fidrich is out of there, man, so
Oh,
All right,
it's a logical.
yes. How about Fidrich for the chair
Okay,
on special events?
for special event.
Yes.
Okay,
he's gonna love that.
And then does anyone else want to be on that?
Yeah, I could
Oh, yeah,
be on the
Commissioner Lee.
committee.
and I could be on that as well. Only this year my schedule.
Okay, so then I will make a motion for Commissioner Fidrich, Lee, and Doherty to be on the special events committee.
I move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, now we would like to move to our annual work plan.
So I provided commissioners with the staff report, so you have the goals, work plans in advance, so we can have a discussion this evening. And so tonight, the goal of the commission is to provide any edits to the existing goals, and any edits or new work plan items for this calendar year. And so I'm happy to kind of take notes and figure out what works best for the commission.
We have the work plan.
Oh, it's on our computer. Is it here?
This,
Oh.
I'm happy to run through these. The goals that were established for last year was to participate in community events, whether in person or virtual, such as the Arbor Day, Bunnies and Bonnets Parade, Park Volunteer Projects, Oktoberfest, and Valentine Fun Runs. Hold at least 2 PRC meetings in a park, conduct a parks tour, collaborate with the Youth Commission on an event or a joint PRC Youth Commission meeting, collaborate with the Civic Improvement Commission on potential public art projects and parks, and collaborate with the VPAC to identify trail improvement concepts for Campbell Parks, and participate in at least once a month in an activity at the Campbell Community Center. So those were some of the goals that were established for last year. So I'm happy to run through any changes, additions, deletions.
I have a question for you. Did we really participate once a week at the community center?
I am unaware of, to the extent of the participation. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to determine if at our events, at the Oktoberfest Fun Run, there was a few on Friday night, on Saturday, not as much. We have our next one coming up. We did have a lot of events in July for Park and Recreation Month that you guys did attend. And so outside of that, whether you're using the skate park or the track or the tennis courts or the pool or the weight room, I'm unaware.
Twice a week. Body conditioning. Wonderful class. She, wonderful.
So do you want us to approve these section by section goals?
Yeah, we can start with goals. I'm happy to hear any.
I think the goals sound good.
Yes, I agree.
I think we had a discussion last year about collaborating with the Youth Commission and the Civic Improvement Commission. I'm wondering, maybe can we merge those 2 goals into one, that we either participate with, collaborate with either of the commissions?
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if we ended up doing that. Maybe the Youth Commission?
You actually have 3 advisory bodies in there because you have the VPAC in there as well. And I don't think there was coordination there that I should involve. You may want to have a more generic collaboration item. Because we do have 3 different advisory bodies listed to essentially do something very similar.
Could be identify an opportunity to collaborate with an existing commission or advisory body within Campbell.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
I like that.
and eliminate the other 3.
Or like including the Youth Commission, the Civic,
Anyone,
yeah.
so it could be
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
works for you guys, and then we just take out those 3 bullet points. And the, you know, the special events, maybe committee or something, or collectively can identify areas where those collaborations can happen, or other goals that you might have that might align possibly with another commission or advisory body.
Discuss the master plan.
Oh, yeah. So we are also embarking upon a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So involvement with PRC is going to be critical over the next year. So that might be an opportunity to expand on your goals of participating in community engagement events, providing feedback, to develop, help the development of the master plan.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, sounds good. And so I think that's it for goals. Does anybody have any other comments or suggestions?
I got one. I'm curious how specific we'll be regarding the park tour. I know I'm like a broken record on this, but can we do a park tour of the skate park? Can we hold meeting at the skate park? Or-
Put a car in.
Yeah, no, I don't, I'm aware of that also. Can we be more specific, or is it just kind of a general that we just have it?
Well, interesting thing, I mean, we have these two items on there that are to conduct a PRC meeting in a park. And we have one that is to conduct a parks tour. And to some extent, there's some overlap there. Once upon a time, the parks tour was a Saturday morning event.
I remember the van.
And we would put everybody in a van.
Yep.
I would take you every place I could think of in Campbell.
That was a good.
But of course, we could also do tours. Well, I mean, we did a different kind of tour when we gave kind of the preview of Campbell Park. That was a more site-specific tour. But having a more focused approach on just looking and observing how different facilities are being used is a little bit different than holding a meeting in a park. I mean, of course, as I say, there can be some overlap. So, I'm all for the park tour thing, because I think depending on the time of day of the week, you can see different things. I know we saw a lot of different interesting things at John D. Morgan on a Saturday morning. But
That's a good point.
it's really the commission's prerogative.
How about we conduct a parks tour? All the parks like we did in the van. I don't know what specifically we put in there, but when we all met, I do remember that because I was on the
I
commission. when We
remember
did some of
that
those.
as well. It was.
And that was good. Pile in a van and look at everything at once. So everyone has a good idea of everything that's out there, so.
We could mesh this with recreational facilities with the master plan.
Yeah, that's a lot of overlap with the master plan, because we're gonna wanna do, you're gonna want to have a really good understanding of the parks you have and what the amenities are and how they're used. So would really be good,
So it could
good
be
baseline. I mean, you want to do that
Conduct
sooner than later.
parks and recreation facilities tour. Maybe you have some neighboring agencies that have done some updating or changes recently.
That's where we did go to one.
Yeah, didn't we go
We
to
did.
Guadalupe Gardens to
we
look
went-
at the all-inclusive?
Yes,
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 that
we
right.
did.
Tour,
Right.
Yes.
But we could do like Los Altos Community Center or Burlingame.
Burlingame.
I know it's far, but it's so good. It's
Okay,
so
okay. I
good.
think we're expanding pretty far beyond
Okay.
just showing around
Well,
Campbell.
We could find some other facilities. and
Mount
things.
View's wrapping up their community center too, which I don't think I've seen the finished
Oh,
product,
yeah,
but I
and
mean,
they're doing that pool
that's
outside
true.
too.
They are.
Okay,
That
we
could
could
be
do
good.
Los Altos at Mount
That
View.
would be good.
So would you want down to say conduct a parks and recreation facilities tour?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here are the changes that I have for the goals as I've heard them. We're gonna be eliminating the 3 bullets that say collaborate with a separate commission or advisory group. It'll now say identify an opportunity to collaborate with an existing commission or advisory body within Campbell for an initiative or special event.
Mhm.
Event. And then we will reword conduct a parks tour to conduct a park and recreation facilities tour. And then we're going to be adding regular participation in community engagement events and workshops related to park and recreation master plan.
Mhm.
All right. Do we want to maybe change participate at least once a month in activities at the Campbell Community Center to like, I don't know, saying in an activity, but utilize the offerings that like visit the community center on a monthly basis, whether it's to the senior center or to the skate park or to the pool. I don't know. I don't know if participation is the right word, as she had asked. If, I don't know if that's quantifiable.
One of the things I can understand about it is some of the activities that went on with the community center. At least I get in a sense of not involved in them. Some people that could help have a strong role, I think, in understanding what's going on, what the strengths are, maybe some.
Sure.
It's like getting the bird, getting those birds off the track.
That's a him problem.
Wrong thing. Joe's gonna take the mechanical airplane out there again.
Yeah, the goosinator.
Any thoughts on that last one, or do we want to leave it?
I mean, I'll make it maybe more general, say participate in as many activities as you can as opposed to like once a month. More general, somewhat more general.
Yeah.
Right now, we're saying us that we're going to express library over there every week, because we don't have a library. Thank heavens, thanks for opening the classroom. It's a lifesaver.
All right, want to move to work plans?
Okay.
Is it redundant to add something regarding the master plan in the work plan as well? Because it seems like there's gonna be something to do there. So whatever the verbiage is to review.
Well, I think at some point, I mean, I think the master plan process is a goal to, have your participation. But I think in a work plan item, I mean, we don't know the particulars quite yet, but I can all but assure you that there will almost be something like a study session that occurs at a Park and Rec Commission meeting. So it'll get very in-depth when we evaluate the facilities and what the park needs in the city are.
Is the intention to get the master plan done this calendar year?
It's
It probably won't be finished this calendar. It's gonna be about a
It'll
year
take a
long.
year.
Yeah, from when we
a
start.
year process, and we're hoping to start April 1st.
So next fiscal year, it would be completed by.
We'd be approving it, yeah, and then have opportunities to utilize some of the action items for like CIP and other opportunities.
Or to maybe just begin the master planning process? Or something to that effect?
Even just like maybe provide input at all stakeholder meetings and community engagement opportunities related to the master plan.
That works.
So,
Like stuff. It's like plenty.
We could, I think it's possible. I want to wait and see when we.
the other component of this is not just your engagement, but your ability to draw in your neighbors and friends and other residents to be actively participating is the other side of that. Is it's not just you showing up to a workshop, it's you driving people to participate, whether it's through the online options or in person and those kinds of things, to share what's important to them.
Maybe something around driving support around community engagement in the work plan. Sorry, in the master plan process.
Driving, okay, sorry, I'm saying. Or, and so driving support and encouraging participation of Campbell residents and active park users for, it's not just our residents, right? Okay, so driving support, encouraging participation of Campbell residents, active park users, and other stakeholder groups in park and recreation master plan. Nathan? How's that? Are you hearing me?
Okay.
Okay.
I heard stakeholders. It's better than. Listen to me.
I do.
All right, so the current work plans from this last calendar year was conduct an annual review of CIP projects utilizing the Parkland Dedication Fund. It's pretty standard. Review, provide early input and prioritize. So we would change this to, no, that is fiscal 25.
It is.
Okay. Maybe because we did it so late last year, or I typed it wrong. But it would be fiscal 25 projects, correct? Since we do these on the calendar year.
It is, but I don't think we're limited to. I think the difference here is that when you go over you review the CIP for proposed park projects, you'll see it for a 5-year period. So I think there's a opportunity for you to provide input on priorities. If we've got the priorities wrong, you can, you can give us input on that, but I don't think we're limited to reviewing fiscal year 25 projects. You might
Because
recommend.
it goes, it could
Yeah,
go out.
you could end up recommending a project that we have further out to be pulled up a year or two.
Right.
So I think that would be kind of the
I mean,
discussion.
I know
of
it
it.
didn't happen at that time, but like the Virginia Park project got moved.
It did, yeah,
We could change fiscal 25 to 5-year CIP projects.
yeah, that would probably be more appropriate.
And take an active role in Park and Recreation Month. We'll be continuing to do that this July as well. And then participate in community engagement, better understand community needs pertaining to the community center. So that one, we could probably eliminate that one and put in the Park and Recreation Master Plan because they'll be kind of driving that. Okay. All right, I will recap. We're taking out the last one. And we are going to add, provide input at all stakeholder meetings and engagement events related to Park and Recreation Master Plan, drive support, encourage participants, Campbell residents, active park users, and other stakeholder groups in Park and Recreation Master Planning. And then we're changing the fiscal year 25 to the 5-year CIP. Good.
That's good.
Great. I will bring these back in a same format as this, but finalized for your approval next time.
Okay. Okay, do we need to vote on that?
I don't think so. You'll
I
vote
think you
to
could
approve
vote.
them next
Yeah.
month when they're cleaned up.
Co-Strong Kindness Rock Garden.
Okay, thank you. So last month, we did not have a quorum, but we did have Lisa Pagan from the COA Strong group, and she provided a presentation. She is requesting that the city entertain the idea of installing a kindness rock garden in one of our parks. She is also requesting that it be established at Edith Morley Park. In the report that I provided to you in advance as well. Lisa and I walked to Edith Morley Park to identify some possible locations of where one could be located. Outside the bathrooms there is a tree well. It's a jacaranda tree that's pretty mature. At the base of that is one opportunity, and I did put in some Photoshop rocks and stuff and a little sign so you could really see what it could potentially look like. We felt this might be a nice location because it has natural seating around, people can sit and look. The whole idea with a kindness rock garden is you take one if you need one, you leave one to help others, something enjoyable to look at. They became very popular during COVID. And as Lisa shared with her story, she did lose her son during COVID, and Edith Morley Park became a very calming place for her to go during that time. And so this is part of it. And they were leaving kind of, the COA Strong group was leaving rocks apparently in parks throughout Campbell, and some are still there. And so she is reaching out to encourage the city to move forward with potentially doing this. So this is one location that we identified. Another one that we identified, there's lots of triangular corners in the park where the fence could potentially be realigned. This one was a little bit harder with the Photoshop, but you kind of get the idea where we could change off and make kind of a triangle at the end and have it there and maybe post something on the fence. That was another alternative. And then there is this blank space near the storage shed, I think, for our park staff. It's right off near the picnic tables. It wasn't kind of our favorite location when she and I walked the space, but it was a location that was possible. And then I found online a sample of what a group had done. Obviously, this one has grass around it, but it could involve some sort of community art project or something where it's painted on the side. You know, there are problems with this one in the sense that if the art is damaged, who takes care of it? Who is the artist? A little bit more staff intensive and some more resources to maybe maintain, but still could be a neat community project if that's the choice. At this time, there's really no policy in place for us to address when someone from the community is requesting a specific amenity within one of our parks. So she, you know, when she brought this forward, I told her I'd be happy to share this with the Park and Recreation Commission. And if this was something that you were interested in moving forward, we would take it to City Council to see about next steps about how we would go forward with installing this. At the end of the report, I provided just some other quick ideas of how people have done kindness rock gardens. They can be very small and intimate, and then there's these big grandiose ones that are lots of paint. So it's really kind of at the purview of what the city would be willing to do. And you know, the hope is that the rocks don't get thrown around and that kind of thing, and that they remain in a place, ideally that they're contained in a place that wouldn't damage any park equipment or something if they were mowing the lawns, that it was away from that kind of stuff. And also, you know, I did this without checking with them, so we would need to make sure that the spaces work for them, that we were kind of suggesting as well. So tonight, I'm just looking to see if this is something that the Park and Recreation Commission would be interested in moving forward with and having me take to council, or if this is not something you're interested in moving forward. So I am open to questions and discussion.
Well, I think it's a nice idea.
I love the idea. Absolutely.
And I think Edith Morley is a good part
Yes, I agree.
where you wouldn't have to worry about a lot of rock throwing.
Yeah.
It is a passive park. There's no play structure. It tends to be a lot of walkers, yeah, and meandering through and less of the populations that tend to create more issues. Is that politically correct? Oh, you have some damage to report?
I have a
Okay.
report on Edith Morley.
Bummer.
Is this Co-Strong? Is that like a nonprofit or something, or what it is?
Oh, it's her son.
And is that located in Campbell? Yeah.
Their goal is to fight childhood cancer. So
And will they start it up and maintain it and kind of,
it kind of
Sure.
maintains itself. So
Okay.
it's really just like the community understanding that that's the location for Kindness Rocks, and it becomes like the place where people can go. You know, I'm sure if this moves forward, I would recommend that Lisa's community of COA Strong work possibly with our youth commission, to the Park and Recreation Commission, to do like a rock painting party to kind of establish the rocks that are in there and do something that it could be kind of a community building event. But again, that's 17 steps down the road.
Like it.
I like it. Yeah.
Let's go with it.
So I just need a motion from the PRC that you'd like to move this forward to city council.
I move, yeah. Work to establish this. Second.
All in favor?
I,
Any abstains? Thank you.
One other question. Should be part of that plan. Is if there is a question of people throwing rocks around, we need to offensively plan them to make that as impractical as possible. So they're not thrown around.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at that point, it becomes an amenity that would have to be removed. It was creating, significant damage, unfortunately. It
Yeah.
would be the result because it's not something, it's not meant to be gated or inaccessible. It's meant to be shared and, like I said, take one if you need one, leave one if you want one, yeah.
Does that mean they can take a rock with them?
So if you were in need of a rock and there was one that resonated with you, that's the whole point of a kindness rock garden is that if you see one and it means something to you and you want to take it, you take it.
So then one of the basic rules should be then, you can do this, but don't throw it.
And on the signs, it does have,
Yeah,
there's some like, it's like, take it if, they have a whole like saying on one of them. It's like, I can't read that. It's like, take it if you need it, leave it if you made it. I don't know. They have like the rules to the kindness garden and there's different
I
signs,
see that.
make one, so.
To share one with a friend who needs it.
Is there water in those perk ponds right now?
And those wells,
It's, they're filling them up.
oh, they are.
I was trying to think of what targets would be out there. People are skipping those things across those ponds.
no.
That occurred to me too, that would be a natural, especially with some of these stones that are just kind of flat, and small.
I don't know if you walk out in that area on the ponds. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is a fairy garden that got put out there during COVID. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a kind of a testament to these random things that kind of pop up and people have built this huge, like elaborate fairy garden.
I thought, what is this?
Totally random.
Yeah.
But it's on those, when you walk those
Yep.
ponds, it's out there and that totally started during COVID as well. Yeah.
Okay, well, next we have the placement.
Right. Valentine Fun Run is this Saturday. I hope you are all volunteering and coming. We have packet pickup on Friday and then the event on Saturday. So I know my team has reached out to you guys about volunteering, so hopefully we will see you in some capacity at the event, or if you're running, we will be there. Bunch of smiles on. And I just wanted to make sure it was on your calendar. That's why I put it on the agenda.
Set my alarm. And the Bunnies and Bonnets Parade.
So the Bunnies and Bonds Parade is happening this year, and they have their applications online and they are due prior to our next meeting. So I do need to know if the commission is interested in. Does the car work?
That's right.
Yes.
And I just got an email today regarding kind of a kickoff meeting again with meeting.
Okay, so if you're interested in participating, we can do as simple as the Yurka truck, or we could do a float if that's what interests you.
Driving it.
I can drive the Yurka truck. I'm not super excited about towing.
Good job, Jeff.
You did
I
a
did
great job
fine on
last
300
year.
Street, yeah, I did fine.
Oh,
So I do need it. I just need a decision on whether or not to submit an application on your behalf. It is on
Just
Sunday,
remind
March
us of the date,
31st.
March 31st.
Oh, wait, so that's Easter. It'd be Saturday, March 30th. They do the Saturday
Oh,
before, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Saturday, March 30th.
Saturday,
Okay.
March 30th.
I will be out of town.
That is the east, that's the parade.
Right, Bonnie Parade.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Did you do it last year, Shirley? I didn't. Something was coming up. I think I wasn't there either. Yeah, but I think I would be there. Yeah, I think I'm free this time.
You want us to do it?
I do recall our previous
Oh,
discussion of
We,
goals.
yeah,
Maybe
we did it last
given this-
year.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
See page one.
It was a lot of fun. There were a lot of kids there. Yeah, I might be able to join this year, but do other commissioners want to participate?
Sure, I would, yeah, we don't have plans this year.
Okay, so I have 3 of you committed for sure.
4.
4? Okay,
Four.
so and possibly those 2 if they're available, so we can let them know. So I will submit an application then on your behalf to participate on that day, and I will get more information as I receive it. Okay?
That's good.
Okay, committee reports. Parks and trees.
Parks and trails,
Parks
well,
and trails.
Campbell Park, I'm always out there. There's always tons of people out there unless it's pouring down rain. Otherwise, the kids are still on the equipment when it's freezing out there. Good to see. Yeah, any other trails people have been on?
No,
Okay,
I don't think so.
Will there be an update on the car through the fence at the skate park in anyone's report this evening?
I can add that real quick.
Otherwise, I would have brought that up.
And trees reports? No trees. Special events?
I think we covered it all.
Covered those. Okay, staff reports for parks.
Okay, let me start out with a couple of things and before I hand it over to, I guess, who's gonna do the operations side? Bob, okay. A couple things that are maybe not quite so park and rec specific, but I'm sure you're all aware of the progress being made with regard to the Measure O projects. So now both projects have been awarded and are under construction, technically under contract at least. Trees are gone. The trees, today was a sad day, actually the last 3 days. Let me start with the library though. The library went under construction in November and they are essentially still in the demolition phase. You can see a lot of that building.
Yeah,
Inside, right?
right inside, yeah.
And it's kind of defying gravity how that roof is still standing up. It's staying on schedule. There have been some challenges with regard to the demolition and the disconnecting and abandoning of the older utilities, shall we say. So there was the electrical hookup that was not disconnected on time. And the previous gas line that will no longer be needed was not disconnected on time. That's so we haven't finished the demo on all 4 sides of the building. But there's enough other things to do to keep that project moving. And that one remains on schedule. The police building project, the groundbreaking event was just a couple weeks ago. And now the contractor is on board and their first order of business was to come in and take out the trees that were required to be removed for the construction of the building, because if we want to do that before we get into bird season, and which could change the whole dynamic of the project. So I believe that they finally took the biggest chunk out of the last remaining tree today, which was the big cedar tree, which is a little sad, to be honest, but at this point, we will, that lower lot will remain closed to the public, I think, for the most part through next week, and then the construction will flip. And you'll find that the front lot is closed for a couple of weeks, and then it will revert to this configuration when they go back to constructing the building. And at that point, the construction fencing and the building outline will largely remain unchanged for about 18 months. So once we flip this a couple times in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be set on a path where you'll see the building going up out in its new location. But at this point, everything is on the revised schedule and moving forward. Also wanted to report on a couple of projects at John D. Morgan Park. So the commission will recall that we did fund some parking lot improvements out there. And as we got into the design and evaluation of the parking, we decided to separate the projects. So The project that's moving forward now and is under design is basically improvements to the parking lot along the expressway side, which it can be accessed on the Rincon side. So that is largely going to be a parking lot improvement project. I don't expect significant changes out there. We're really gonna do some asphalt rehabilitation, do some reconfiguring to make better use of some of the space. Perhaps the best thing coming out of that, depending on your perspective, will be that there will be a fence between the parking lot and the path. So I think that will provide better comfort for cyclists and pedestrians. Not to mention, it'll keep some of our folks out of the park who like to go in there on Saturday and Sunday mornings and do their own setup. So there's all kinds of benefits that may be coming out of that. So that one is currently at about 65% drawing, provided comments back to the designers. When we work through the next round, we should be just about ready to bid that project. And our goal is to do that one fairly soon so that we don't impact the park over the summer. So it may impact it in the spring, but for a very limited time, because you can't maybe work with this kind of, we have to have good weather, but that's also when people want to use the parks. We did separate the Bud Avenue parking improvements from that, and we are going to do the Bud Avenue parking in conjunction with the restroom replacement. So that project has not started yet. That will be in next year's, that'll be a project for fiscal year 25. So when we bring back the proposed project, you can see that one in there. And once again, I will go over how we've kind of rescoped that, because there may be some benefit to reorienting the restroom and maybe reconfiguring that lot, which is a very odd shaped lot, and we don't think that it's very efficient in its parking layout. I think we can do a little better, and we're going to do the best we can to improve that. I mentioned, as Natasha was talking about Edith Morley Park and all the characteristics of that park, which we've all come to know and love, which are great. I'm not sure that the commission is aware that there is a development proposal in hand to redevelop the Campbell Technology Park. And the Campbell Technology Park, if this moves forward, Campbell Technology Park will go away and it will be replaced by nearly 300 housing units. And that will do two things for us. It will change the character of the neighborhood. It will create a neighborhood where there isn't one. It will no doubt change the character of Edith Morley Park. And furthermore, it will also very likely provide a significant amount of park dedication funds to the city that, if and when we make a determination, could be used to provide additional amenities or renovation to Edith Morley Park. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and presuppose what could happen, but I think we will find that the timing of this might work well coming out of the Park and Rec Master Plan as we define, take another look at our park system and take stock of what and where our various amenities are. We may find that that park is ripe for revisiting, maybe a more site-specific master plan, and maybe introduce some other amenities based on a community that doesn't exist out there yet. But I would anticipate that the character of that park will change over the next couple of years. And then lastly, we didn't really get very far on this, and I think we're probably going to want to work maybe with the Parks and Trail Subcommittee, but we would limit it to that. Is, as you will recall, we did do a replacement and introduction of new park course exercise equipment at Campbell Park on kind of the smaller loop, the loop that goes around the turf area. But there are still some remnant stations around the bigger loop. So as you go up the creek trail to the bridge and come back on the other side, you will see the old style 1970s, 1980s park course equipment that, some of which is usable and some of which has deteriorated. And we would like to take stock of what's there and maybe get your input. And we'll put a packet together where maybe in between meetings, those of you who visit the site lately could make notes and provide us with your input. But what we're interested in doing is either renovating some of the exercise stations that could provide value, or ones that we no longer see as valuable. We should take them out completely before they before they become a hazard if they haven't already. So we will get back to you on that. I would like to think we could do that in March, but that may fall to April based on other things that we're doing, but expect a little bit more on that, and we'd love to get your input on that. So with that, I will stop yammering and turn it over to Bob.
Good evening, commissioners. Happy winter. It's been wet and rainy, and the Parks Department's been really busy. So we all know we had the atmospheric river coming, and we prepared for it. We had our staff review all their emergency response equipment, including our chipper. We sent it in to get it serviced, fully serviced, inspected. That way, when tree problems do come up, we're ready to respond. This windstorm, or whatever we want to call it, rainstorm, ended up with 32 storm-related tree issues and 10 removals. So sometimes the removal just means it's a broken branch that broke out enough of the tree that we had to remove it, but that's kind of a little bit of how much we endured. It started on Sunday. The crew worked till Sunday night past midnight, and then started again Monday, Tuesday. They're finishing up actually today. We have actually one more area for tomorrow. Let's see. So, you know, flooding is also an issue, and just for your own awareness, there is a lot of drains in our parks. You wouldn't think about it, like at John Morgan, it's at least 9. There's a bunch at the community center. We have to check those, make sure they all flow so we don't end up with any additional flooding on our fields. And some of you may have been out to the community garden and noticed that the huge eucalyptus tree is gone. We have been reviewing that tree and monitoring it for health, and noticed some health issues. And then I did an inspection and I found some mushrooms around the base of the tree. And that was all we really needed to do to make the decision that it needed to come out. So prior to the atmospheric river, we were able to remove that. Felt really great that that was actually handled. And thanks to Becca, she coordinated all the gardeners. Noticed that, hey, the garden's closed during these 4 days that they're removing the tree. It's quite a process. Winchester Boulevard between Sunny Oaks and Hamilton, we planted 10 new trees. And after we did an assessment of, hey, what tree wells are valuable and we want to put trees in, and then which ones we can concrete in that are inappropriate. So that's moving forward. So look for those new trees out there. We've also, in preparation for spring, if you can believe that, we were out on our medians. We have 12 medians, and each one has a controller. And we've activated all the stations and did a thorough analysis of what kind of repairs are needed. And we're going to start chipping away at all those different irrigation issues. So John Morgan Park has a lot of sports field activity, and I don't know if you guys have noticed that sometimes the same area of the field gets dry every year, right? You're like, whoa, what's going on? Why don't they fix the irrigation out there? And so the irrigation is working. What's different is the soil is compacted underneath. So we have gone out to the sites, identified them. We've used a probe and injected a microbial material that helps to break down compacted soil. And we've also rototilled some areas and tilled in this product called Turfus, which is used at the 49er Stadium. They also use this to relieve compaction. And that's really what we're seeing out there in those areas that just don't grow, is compacted soil. So we're actively trying to reduce that and improve the vigor of the soil. If you're into this kind of thing, Gardenland is hosting a zero emissions expo at John Morgan Park. That's going to be in April. And they expect about 300 people and about 15 different vendors as the industry starts to move its way away from gas powered equipment towards electric. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. We've been coming in at 3:30 in the morning for about 4 days into downtown Campbell to treat our hackberry trees. And we're treating them with three different products. One is called Essential. It creates a more vibrant soil organism. You know, there's a lot of living things inside the soil, fungus and bacteria, and it helps promote that, which helps the tree roots grow. So that was actually the #1 product. And then we have a second product, which is called Companion. And that is a food source for the bacteria and the fungus and what have you that are living in the soil. So we applied those two items to not make the tree grow bigger, but to make it grow healthier and stronger, strong roots, and to reduce the amount of dead wood we're seeing in the canopy. Finally, we applied Shortstop, which is a plant growth regulator. And what that does is it strengthens the cuticle and the leaves of the tree. Doesn't really, you're not going to see it like compacting or getting smaller or anything like that. Just that long growth. Hopefully we reduce that and the tree just becomes tougher, able to handle insect and disease resistance better. That's the intention. And of course, we'll monitor for how well that works. With that said, is there any questions? Okay.
I would add one other thing, Bob, maybe you can help me out on this. I know that you're all taking notes on things in the future, and we do have on your work plan potentially attending or assisting with Arbor Day. So the Arbor Day event will be, I believe, April 26th.
Yes.
The last Friday of the month in April. And I believe it will be at John D. Morgan Park. And that is the extent of my knowledge on that. So if you know any more details, please. Or have we not got that far?
We haven't gotten that far. We do have a plan to improve the forest at John Morgan Park, and I have some ideas about where to put a grove of trees. Our initial thoughts are at least 12 to 15 trees. Last year we did about 19 across the back. So yeah, we're looking forward to making a real impact in that area. Thank you.
I've got stuff. All right, so,
Something about a car and skate park?
yeah. Okay, so our senior nutrition program, it continues to thrive. We operate Monday through Friday, almost all year round. They're serving on average about 70 meals per day to seniors, and we're having to turn people away. So it's a very robust, popular program. As I mentioned in previous meetings, we had gotten a grant to update the flooring and do round tables, and it really has made a significant impact on the socialization in there with the population that comes. And then our preschool has been coming in once a month and doing arts and crafts with the seniors. It's really adorable. So that's been going on. Our adult center is happy to host the AARP again this year for free tax services for those who need assistance with basic returns. Appointments have to be made in person with an AARP volunteer, and the hours for tax services at our location is Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Fridays from 9:30 to 12:30 in room C34 next to the adult center. And appointments began last Friday and they'll run through April 12th. So anyone who would like to come on Fridays at around 11, we can kind of do an overlap of the tax services and our nutrition program. So if you're interested in coming and having a tour of both of those, just please let me know. I'm happy to kind of walk you around and show you kind of that population of people who are using our services and how impactful it is to them and the volume of people coming through our community center. And the adult center is also hosting a Lunar New Year event again this year. They're doing it on Friday, February 23rd in the evening. So it'll be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Orchard City Banquet Hall. It's for 50 and over. Tickets are $20 per person. And it includes dinner and live entertainment. So it should be a really good show. They've got some great entertainment that's coming. The Ainsley House is closed until March 1st. The Historical Museum is still open and continuing to host school field trips. The Ainsley Garden Series will resume in March, and the first one will have 2 shows on Saturday, March 10th at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. and tickets are available online. The Heritage Theater will host Jimmy Bond on Saturday, April 6th. Tickets are still available for that, and we are still working to book a 20th anniversary show for the building. Next Valentine's Day this year is the 20th anniversary of the building being reopened. And then summer preview. So our summer camps and swim lessons will be available online only in a digital activity guide by the end of February. And our early registration for all summer camps and swim lessons will start on March 14th for our residents and then reopen to everyone on the 15th. And then please mark your calendars. We are hosting an open house on Saturday, March 2nd at the community center. This event will be before our next meeting, and I encourage all of you to please stop by. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on that Saturday. We'll be having opportunities for families to come meet instructors and contractors of specialty camps, and also get to know us. And if they need to do an assessment for swim lessons, their kid can get the pool and get an assessment. So when they're doing the enrollment, they know exactly which swim level to put them in. And of course, the Valentine Fun Run is this Saturday. In addition, the Youth Commission's hosting a shoe drive, so they'll be collecting donations at the basketball courts. You can bring all of your old used tennis shoes that might be in a bag in your garage, and you can donate them to the Youth Commission out at the Fun Run, and they'll be bringing them over to the sports basement for the Recycle for Change program that they host. And then as Commissioner Ishibashi mentioned, we recently had some significant damage out at the skate park. A woman drove a car through the fence at the skate park on accident. So building maintenance is working on having that fence repaired at the moment. So yeah, it was, my assumption is a slip of the foot or something. And fortunately, no one was injured. There were kids skating in the park when it happened. It was kind of middle of the day on a Saturday, and I don't know if she lost control or slipped a foot. I'm not 100% sure. I just received the photos, the information. So that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
No questions.
Okay, good indicating.
Anybody? I got one.
Yeah, you can always still give it there.
I actually had a neighbor ask me this today. I have a neighbor, I guess, that has used at Edith Morley Parks, like the little plots where you grow gardens or whatnot. Their concern is there are some folks, it appears, I guess, that rent a plot and then never use it the whole year. And there's, I guess it's like a waiting list or whatnot. You probably know who this person is. Because she says he's been very vocal. So I'm just curious, right? I guess I mean, that's what they say. Like he's taking photos of like these plots that no one ever they rent them. They never use them. They just kind of sit there all year. And then but there are people on the waiting list who would like to use those plots. I'm just curious if there's any type of like use it or lose it, kind of like policy or anything. If someone's left something there for a couple of months and not done anything, I don't know exactly how long you seem to rent it or whatever. But if there's anything that can be done if people aren't using it, let someone else on the waiting list like get back in there and actually use it. That's all.
Well, the plots are rented for a year at a time. Okay. So sometimes people will not do winter gardening and sometimes they will. And that's what leads to maybe some of the confusion, because there are people that will buy the plot for the year. They're not coming out till early spring. So it can look like they're not doing something when maybe their intent is to be out in March. I don't know what is
That's
this
fair.
case.
Yeah, I don't know either. These people,
Common dynamic.
gentlemen, sounds like he's been doing this a long time and just watches these things all year, but. Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know.
And at one point, we had the waiting list down to almost nothing, didn't we? We came way down. We did have a long waiting list for a while, and then we did the expansion and cycling people through.
Is there any way to expand it again? Or any? Just
Some
ask.
people have never had.
No,
There probably is, but it would, at this
I mean,
point,
like I have
would have
4x4
approach
places.
it to the park at this, I mean, although maybe with the tree being gone, we could reevaluate, because, we did have the 2 trees out there
Right.
for the longest time.
Right,
And one of them toppled. And then we got rid of the other ones. So I think it's something that we should definitely look at.
Do we know what the waiting list is ballpark?
It's about figuring out there's no big list, and I'm getting through it. And people are just leaving out of Campbell, so a lot of spots will be open.
Okay.
Available, and those that I have on the list, I'm trying to get hold of them to like, hey, you know, what's available. They're not responding, so I just take, so I'm just going down.
All right, fair enough.
Sure, it's on the list.
I have a few things, just express appreciation for all of the cleanup after the storms. The wind was, I thought was stronger than I had anticipated, so. And 30-something down trees, it must have been a lot of work, so. And then the other thing is, I know we're still far from summer, but, I really like the recreational swim days. And so if there's any way to kind of keep that going, especially with some of our heat, you know, during some of our heat waves,
That's continuing.
okay,
It's not
great.
going away. And the family swim nights are coming back too.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Summer passes.